The Teenage Diary of Noor Jahan by Deepa Agarwal, published by Talking Cub, an imprint of Speaking Tiger Books. Here it is, my latest book, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about it. What was Noor Jahan like as a teenager? Now, that is something you will not find in any history book because it's all the product of my imagination. We all know about the mighty Empress Noor Jahan, the 20th wife of Jahangir, the Mughal emperor. I had read about Noor Jahan in my history books, heard all the legends around her, and I had also read this wonderful book, The 20th Wife by Indu Sundareshan. But when my editor Sudeshna Shom Ghosh shared this idea, I must confess I was a little foxed because where was I going to find anything about Noor Jahan as a teenager? The only thing I knew was at the age of 16, she had married Ali Kuli Ustajlu, later named Sher Afghan. But there were many aspects of Noor Jahan's personality that have been written about extensively. We know that she wielded immense power. In fact, she was probably the only woman who actually ruled in real terms. And we know that she was deeply interested in the arts and she was fond of poetry. She wrote poetry herself, she patronized artists, and she built many beautiful buildings. She was also a very generous person and gave a lot in charity. But we also know that she was extremely ambitious and domineering. So, all this gave me an insight into what Noor Jahan might have been as a teenager. Because here we have the girl who has all these qualities, but she hasn't had the opportunity to show her true self to the world or demonstrate in the public sphere what she's made of. Now, what does any teenage girl go through? I know we've all been through that phase in life and we know how difficult adolescence can be, this really contentious bridge between, I don't know if that's the right word, but it feels like that, between childhood and adulthood. Your body is changing in so many ways, your emotions are going for a roller coaster. You are trying to get used to the idea that you're no longer a playful child and you have to take on responsibilities. There are restrictions, especially on girls, a lot of restrictions imposed on girls as they're growing up. So maybe I thought this is definitely what Noor Jahan was going through too, and that is how I imagined it. Now, a diary, the format of a diary is one that allows the writer, the opportunity to uh, really look very deeply into the feelings of their character. And you can, very freely share their dreams and their ambitions, their likes and dislikes. Everything is laid bare before the reader in a diary. So I thought this was a very exciting opportunity. And I tried to show Noor Jahan as what she might have been living in that age and at that time, a girl just raring to go and growing up in the Mughal court in the midst of so many intrigues, but fond of dressing up, but not content to live just a bejeweled uh, woman behind the four walls of a harem. She's ambitious and she wants to wield power, and as yet she doesn't know how to, but she knows one day she is going to get there. And then, of course, she has a crush on Prince Salim, and this is mentioned sometimes that in some records it's mentioned that she had met him as a young girl. So you see, I had plenty to play around with, and this is what I have put in this book. And I've also shown her as an optimistic person because she had to be. Her life was full of ups and downs, and because she was fond of writing poetry, I put in a few little verses which are my own. uh, None of the verses attributed to Noor Jahan could really fit in, so I'll just read you the last little verse, and here it goes. The hot wind blows dust into my eyes, my tears wash it out, and my vision clears. I can see gardens blooming for my delight, scent the fragrant flowers strewn on my path. So, Noor Jahan did grow up to be a great empress, and I have tried to show the beginnings, the formation of her personality in this book. And I hope, dear readers, you will all enjoy this.